This episode is brought to you by Columbia Sportswear. It's snowing again, and that wind chill is killer. But you're not worried about that because you shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection. It's warmth perfected with tiny gold dots that reflect your body heat inside and protect you from the cold outside. No snow or chilly temps can stop you now. Go out anyway. Shop the Omni Heat Infinity Collection now at Columbia.com/infinity.
The holidays are a time to feel and create joy. And what could be more joyous than the look on her face as she unwraps a stunning new jewelry piece from Blue Nile? How about getting 50% off your purchase? Blue Nile offers premium quality, priced below traditional retail. Their online experts are available 24/7 to answer any questions and make sure you've picked the perfect gift. For a limited time, you can get 50% off at BlueNile.com. That's 50% off at BlueNile.com.
Back at it again with our fourth and final installment of the Shades of Blue season preview podcast series. I try to get the longest names possible for everything that we do. This part 4 will be from the fans' perspective, and we have one of the most loyal Blue Testament commenters, members of the community. David Greenwald is here. David, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much, guys. Thanks for having me. You put me on the pod. I begged. In every post for months, you find dreams do come true. Thanks for having me.
And now you can hold this over Chad too.
Right.
That's right.
That's why we did you before we did Chad, just to make him even angrier. So
perfect. Well, I'm tingly to be here.
Tingly, yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
He's been listening. You know, he's been listening.
That's right. Got to live up to Aly. She had a great pod, so I'm trying to set the bar high.
Yeah, it was good to have Aly back. That was nice. Gang was all reunited. Let's hear your just general idea about the season. How are you feeling? What are we looking at with this team going forward this year?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I think looking at the Cauldron Facebook group, everybody's pretty jazzed about the season. I think a lot of people have a lot of high hopes.
The CFB, legendary.
Oh God, it's a nightmare. And my feelings are pretty mixed. We won the West last year. We were top 10 in all the Opta stats for XG, X assists, expected goals allowed, expected shots on target against us. All the metrics say we were really good. But then I'm looking at it, we didn't play anybody all that good.
That's what it felt like all year.
And I'm looking at our roster, and I love these guys, right? I love Busio, I love Polito, all these guys. But when you look at our roster and you stack it up against LAFC, I just don't know that we've got what it takes. I think we're a mid-pack Western Conference team.
Yeah, I've seen that middle of the pack take quite a bit, and it very well could turn out to be like that. But every time I think about the attacking core, just if that front three stays healthy, Busio has the year we're all hoping, and Gadi Kinda continues to improve in his second year, then holy shit, this team's going to score a lot of goals, and it does get me pretty excited.
Yeah, I think Alan Polito is a top 5 striker in this league for sure.
At least has that potential.
Yeah,
top
if he's
5,
healthy,
come on, give him top 5. Shut up, Thad. He has to be top 5 right now, doesn't he?
Is Polito tingling you?
Yes. Been tingled a long time by Polito.
Well, the reason he's not top 5 obviously is because of the injury history last year, and that's just something that he's going to have to prove and come through with. So
it's not injury history. One injury is not injury history.
Well, that's what people are basing it on, last year's injury history, if you will.
Yeah.
I think there was more than one. Was more than one.
1 year.
Yeah.
A lot of weird things happened last year. Shut up, Thad.
And let's see, how much did we see him in preseason? Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
Not at all. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see anyone in preseason, really. So except that
Well,
Busio goal.
Look, if Polito's not healthy, we have virtually no chance to win a cup, right?
Come on, you're not on the Harris hype train?
I stand for Wilson Harris.
Yes.
I am a Wilson Harris truther.
Good man.
I've been hoping for his signing since SPR got him. But okay, if Polito's not healthy, we got zero chance of really doing any damage in the league this year, right? I think the league's shown us over the years that you need kind of that DP number 9, that talismanic striker to like really do something special. But if we've got peak Polito, if we've got a healthy Alan Polito, he's got to be top 5 of the league, right? We certainly have Joseph, but who else is really at his level, his ability to drop deep, to combine, and really generate more than just shots, more than just being like a fox in the box, but to actually help build up the attack.
And that would actually be one reason I wouldn't put him in the top 5 as a pure striker, because he isn't just a pure striker in this league. He is going to be that guy that drops back and picks up a ball in the middle, then feeds it up to the wing or the overlapping midfielder going in or whatever. So he probably, I would have concern that he's going to be in the top 5 for scoring. He might be top 5 in the best to affect the team, to complement the team. I'll give you that.
But I think Kansas City has shown that we need that dropping back in, because I'm sorry, guys,
I agree.
Mauricio is not a 10. He's not a straight 10. He may want to be this year, and we'll see if that happens, but he's not. And our midfield doesn't have that quality. We have 2 8s, we have a 6, and if Busio makes the leap, great. But we need Polito to come back and get that ball for possession, for being more dynamic offensively, drawing defenders into that and freeing our wingers. So we need that. I think the playoffs last year have us all jaded a bit too, because what were we without Polito last year? We were giving up 3 goals and not scoring a whole lot the other way, especially against Minnesota, obviously.
Man, we had 3 really positive, happy season previews, and then Bob just comes out all strict and pessimistic there. He's got high expectations.
Dave started it, man. Dave started it.
I did.
But no, the conversation about, whether Polito is a pure striker, I don't think you don't fit into Peter Vermees's system if you're a pure anything. You have to do all these other jobs in order to fit correctly into that system. So
very valid point, Cody. I'll give you that one.
Aha, got one. Point for Cody. Okay, what else are we missing from the fan perspective here? What's another angle we can?
I'm not sure he's coming as a fan. He's coming with more stats than we ever do.
Yeah, he literally he said the word advanced metrics, and that just beat anything we had already discussed.
well, that's because he read Doyle's story today, didn't you, Dave?
No. Well, is this Matt Doyle? Maybe this is Matt Doyle. I'm not going to credit him even if I did.
Exactly.
I'm not a journalist. I have to have integrity.
If it's Matt Doyle, definitely don't say
like journalists have integrity.
All right, on that word, guys, I've got to go. Have a good rest of the time.
All right, Bob.
Hey, see you.
Enjoy partying,
stopping by in your car.
All right, we'll see you guys. Bye.
And that was Robert with the drive-by.
Literally, he drove by in the Zoom chat.
Guys, that's a great new segment. That's a great new segment you just created.
I think he did really well. Maybe we need to have him in the car every time. I think we got the best out of Robert Russard while he was in the car when someone was waiting on him.
And now he can't over-talk us because he talks louder than us. So, hey, it's a win-win.
Oh, I've got a good topic to discuss, as many fans are talking about right now. The Bally Sports and the Sinclair broadcasting situation. David, are you covered? You're able to watch them this year?
So I'm good because despite being technically a millennial, I still pay for cable. I have too many. I've got HBO Plus, Disney Plus, Peacock. I have every conceivable service one could possibly need for whatever reason. But
that's the only way to live.
Yeah, I guess, right? I mean, I can't take the money with me. I might as well light it on fire and give it to AT&T.
So can you loan us some IDs once in a while? No, kidding.
Yeah, just let me know. Just let me know. Because somebody on our board is constantly locked out of being able to watch these games. I don't know who it is.
I mean, there's always someone on anywhere I look at the discussion. There's at least a couple people who are pissed off about it. And I mean, with the Royals too, I guess I see more people upset about that, but yeah, it's just not a good situation.
No, it's an interesting concept. I think, MLS as a league wanting to have those group negotiations for the rights is probably both good and bad, right? Allowing the teams to kind of negotiate their own contracts.
Yeah.
Can be good if you have a market for it. I think, Sporting would be able to make a strong argument for it. I'm to bring baseball into it, I'm a Yankees fan. My dad's from New York. Before I get crucified, my dad's from New York City. But one of the benefits the Yankees did is they created the Yes Network because there's a demand for it, there's a market for it. And that helped widen the gap between them and the Royals in terms of finances, because they now had an incredible TV contract.
And 12 million fans.
That also helps. It's easy to sell a lot of hats.
Yeah, and have a lot of people that pay for the subscriptions at that point. That makes a difference.
But with sporting, I mean, we're trapped for the next couple of years, right? This season and next season. And then MLS wants to renegotiate. And it'll be interesting to see in a post-COVID world what kind of money they're going to be able to get out of ESPN and Fox Sports.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as much as they were hoping for, but we could also be very wrong in that, because people may not be as willing to go sit next to a bunch of people screaming. Maybe they're willing to pay more for that subscription.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Valid question there. All right, David. I think we always discuss that we're gonna have a watch party, the Blue Testament watch party one of these days. So if we ever do that, we'll definitely invite you out to the bar. We can get together and have a drink.
Sounds great. That sounds great.
All right, we got one guest, Thad. One person wants to come.
Yeah, well, who was it that said, "Oh yeah, I absolutely want to come, but not this year"?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we should probably wait a little bit.
Hey,
vaccine tomorrow, guys. Getting my vaccine tomorrow.
I'm fully vaccinated. I've been vaccinated for a little while now. So let's go. I'm ready to go sit in the cauldron and have people spill beer on me and get back to normal.
I miss the beer spilling.
I miss everything about normal life.
And the drums. Oh man, I actually did just get tingly at that time. I really did get tingly.
Also, I think you asked earlier what the other fan perspective is. And I think that the return to normalcy is the other big part of the season. One of the things that makes us so tough as a club is that stadium's always packed, and they're opening up to some, it's kind of like we had at the end of last season. And it'll be curious to see if they can open up and get more and more people to get that atmosphere back. Because playing in an empty stadium, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been to Swope Park games, and I refuse to call them SKC2. It's Swope Park Rangers.
Always Swope Park.
But those games, I mean, I got great heckling in because the players can actually hear when you're screaming at them, because you're not getting drowned out by the 16,000 other people there. So I'll be really curious to see if we can throttle back up to full capacity to have kind of an intimidating atmosphere.
Yeah, I think in a couple of months there's going to be, whether a lot of people are vaccinated or not, I think a lot of SKC Nation is just chomping at the bit to get back there and do everything that you just said about the cauldron and the camaraderie and the singing. And oh man,
it just wasn't the same last year.
It was not. I stopped going. I didn't even go to like the last several ones because it was, because there was you didn't get face to face, you didn't get to go to the presser. Like it was just.
Yeah.
Do I qualify for a press pass now? I've been officially on the pod. I'm writing articles. I'm doing a season previews.
There you go.
I gotta bust out a bunch before the season starts.
Patrick, expect an email where we have another credential request to bring in.
Well, we're kind of already like overwhelm all the rest of the media outlets in Kansas City.
I know. We get like, I don't even know how, was it like 4 people at least? And now Chad's back adding another one. So we have so many people requesting credentials, but we also cover more than almost anyone else. So,
and in more multiple ways and multimedia and
we come at you from different platforms now. Full service.
That's right.
No, the more you want to write, though, I can give you a real, I can bump you up into author status, man.
Oh, man.
Wait, no. That it's not a fan perspective anymore. Hold on. Wait a little bit.
Not for a week.
Podcast breathe before we do that.
I'll send a proposed contract. I'd actually prefer a regular podcast contributor. Then we can talk about author later.
Oh, you have no idea how much easier it is to just stand here in my room talking on a video than it is to type out a 700-word blog post that people will tear you apart if you say like one thing wrong in there.
He's a lawyer, though. It might be he could probably do both at the same time.
That's true.
Wait a minute. Are we gonna let him off this easy? We're not gonna like grill him for anything?
What do you got to grill the man?
Yeah. whatever.
I didn't
you
know
want,
this
man.
was what we were supposed to do. I was trying to be happy here. What do you want to do? What do you got for him?
Let's get into the deep dive. Let's do it.
Yeah, you got something
because
to
he came
go
with stats, man. He came with stats.
Oh,
I don't know if we ever gave him the full opportunity to present all of his evidence of how the team was going to perform.
he did prepare. It seemed like.
I did some research. I have like lofty standards to live up to.
All right, so what
Now
ideal
you got to
situation?
filibuster for him. He had it closed, so keep filibustering. Let him get it all ready now.
After everybody's healthy, considering everybody on Sporting KC is healthy, what is your starting 11?
So best 11 cup final. Is that what we're talking about?
What you think will win the game? There's a big difference to me between best 11 and the team that you want to put on the field.
I consider it's either the cup final or opening day preferred roster. I consider that the same in my head right now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so obviously Tim Young. I mean, who believes that trees could be goalkeepers?
That is me. Raise
yeah,
your
that's
hand.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Cody.
Okay. Well,
he never admits that when Jimmy's on the pod, though.
I did admit it. You called me out, and I admitted it.
He's a very nimble tree. So then across the back line, I'm probably going to go Amadou Dia with how the roster stands right now. I think he brings a level of athleticism, and he's giving more than just like the endless crosses to nowhere. And I think the stats have bared out over the last few years that the more we cross the ball, the worse we do. And I just have nightmares of it. Keeps me up at night, guys, of these games of just Zusi lobbing cross after cross after cross and then not going anywhere.
Well, the crossing thing, that's a good point to bring up. The crossing thing. Vermees swears by the early cross. If you watch a Sporting Kansas City game with that in your head, that Vermees encourages them to do an early cross instead of getting all the way to the corner and then crossing it. They do it every single time. And yeah, it might catch the defense off, but also it seems like the striker or the attacker is not ready for it. So,
and the ball always goes 7 foot high over top, like a foot over top the 6 foot striker.
Yeah.
Well, did anybody ever tell Jerso that? Because I distinctly remember Jerso getting to the byline and trying to cut back all the time.
Well, yeah, he didn't want to cross it. He wanted to get all the way there and then dance into the 6 yard box and then make a bad pass.
But without seeing a second of our new French center back, and I don't want to try and butcher the name, so we're going to call him our new French center back.
Izzy.
I think Izzy. All right, we're going to do Dia, Izzy, Punchech, Jaylin Lindsey. I think I'm anybody who's at least familiar with my postings, I'm a noted Grim Zusi hater. In terms of his playing style, I think he's a delightful man. Very handsome, very handsome, very charitable.
Yes, great guy.
Not a fan of his footballing currently. I think my biggest question mark going into the season is who's going to play the 6. I love Ilya, and full disclosure, Ilya is a friend.
He's name dropping now.
He wished me a happy wedding. I have the video to prove it.
Nice. Cameo doesn't count, man. Get out of here.
It's but if Ilya can play even remotely to where he was, if he can give that defensive cover, I think he's going to be great. So probably still going to play Ilya in the pivot. And then I'm playing Red Card Raj and Busio, bringing Kinda off the bench as a spark plug, and I'm sure Remy Walter is very good, but Roger has the drop-off that we see when Roger's not on the field or when Roger's tired is pretty notable. Nobody else has that bite in the midfield, that ability to put in a tackle to really understand the positioning.
I can't argue with that.
And then Polito up top, Johnny on the right.
Don't you struggle with this one.
Oh man, this is a tough one. Because
he's going to say Grayson Barber. No.
Because
it better not be Shallowy.
It might be.
No,
I think it's Shallowy because we know what we get out of Kyrie. Kyrie's a great late game sub if you're trying to defend a lead. I don't know if he's a great starter. I certainly wouldn't have him as a nailed-in starter. I believe that Daniel can do the thing.
Kyrie, the creator.
I have faith personally that Daniel Shallowy will bounce back and recover. You don't just lose those skills. He didn't get old and like lose his legs or anything like that. I think he just got the yips and he needs a solid run where he can't lose a spot in the team. Who else is going to play? Him and Kyrie. So I think that's my game day 11 for MLS Cup.
Well, it fills me with joy, the confidence you have in him. I lost mine. I was as big of a person on Shallow as you could be, and I'm going to admit it. I gave up. I lost it. I lost it about him. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I hope he can do it again. I kind of think that he can. It's just I had to just like give up. Every time I kept saying he was going to do it again, it wasn't working. But you were good until that last point that was just like, well, who else is going to do it? That doesn't mean he's going to do it well.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to get a chance in there. So that leads to my next question. Since you are an SPR aficionado, I'm not going to let you say Shallowy or Busio. Which academy guy is going to make the most impact? Not those two. Well, I'll take Lindsey out of the count too. So,
that's Cam Duke. I'm hoping that Wilson Harris surprises me and that he's coming off as a sub and like just bagging goals left and right. But I think Vermes played Duke a pretty decent amount last year. So either Duke or Fernandez. I think Duke and Felipe both got a good run at the end of the year. Cam, I thought, showed a lot more than maybe some other people did, but I thought he had some real flashes. And I love Felipe Hernandez. I think he's mini Roger. I think it's a confidence thing about him kind of gaining that willingness to put in a tackle like Roger does, but I think he's got that in his game.
What about Kave Rad?
Oh,
I just want to say his name. I don't know.
Is he gonna listen to the pod?
I don't know.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, I'd put him before Graham Smith, but I don't necessarily know that. SPR has given up a lot of goals over the last couple of years, and Kave's played a lot of minutes.
I do think a lot of that is the people that's been around him, leaving him not knowing what any player, if you can't count on what the other guys are going to do, that leaves you guessing, which leaves you half a second behind the play sometimes. I think that had a lot to do with it. He looked, the little bit we saw him in preseason this year, just the one game, he looked all right. But I don't think, even Peter said he's not ready to run that guy out for 34 games. I think he'll see a spot start when somebody's hurt and that sort of thing. He needs time to develop.
No, I think you make a good point. I mean, some of these guys, you can only be as good as the players are around you.
Especially at center back. And that's part of all of Sporting system is the back line is only as good as the six in front of them, and the six is only as good as the eights in front of him. So if anybody fails in that, it just cascades back, and Tim's picking balls out of the net.
All right, well, let me turn this around on you. I got a couple questions for the experts, for the journalists.
The experts. All right, let's do it.
All right.
I don't claim that.
One, where does Busio get the most minutes this year? Is it at the 8? Is it on the wing? Is it in the 6? Where's he playing?
No, he'll do it at the 10, just as it's been prophesized, because everyone on the front line is going to be healthy. Gadi Kinda is gonna grab the number 8 with both hands, and Busio is gonna kill it in the 10.
Nope.
Don't shake your head at me.
Busio will be the 8/10 that Sporting does, and Remy Walter, I think, is the other 8, and Kinda is going to be coming off the bench with speed in a couple different spots.
All right.
Okay.
Question.
So where's what you didn't answer his question? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
you said the 8/10.
Yeah, as opposed to the wing.
Yeah, he's center mid, 8/10 because there is no true 10s in Sporting style. So that's what I call it.
Yeah, but there's one of the 3 midfielders stays more up top than the others.
You would think that, but I've looked at some of the stats after games, and the guys you would think were the 10 representatives, Feilhaber, Felipe Gutierrez, and you would often find Roger ahead of them in their average positioning, and Ilie almost even with them in their average positioning in the games that we did well. So it's not always that case. It's the guy who's pulling those strings and being in different spots. So
Okay, so then what were you shaking your head at me for? I don't even think we disagreed.
I don't know. What did you say? You
That's
said
just
10.
your default reaction to just shake your head at me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
But I'm not. I don't know. What were you saying that I was disagreeing with?
That's what I was asking you. Thanks for the
well-
support there, podcast co-host.
Well, so I think this brings up a good point though, which is that because Cody said that Busio is the 10 that has been prophesized to save us all. And first of all, I don't think he can grow a mustache like Benny, and therefore I don't believe him to be the one true 10.
That is required.
He has way better mutton chops though.
Yeah,
God.
that might make up for it,
That's-
honestly. Those chops, those are
That's-
strong.
A sentence that's not been said since 1874. But
I know some people from the 60s that did. So
But so I think this is an interesting question about what actually suits Busio the best, because he obviously didn't get picked to be on the Olympic squad. He's gotten some national team snubs. He did great in that like metronome's position last year, filling in for Ilie, but not being a true defensive mid. I don't know how he fits in as one of our dueling eights. I think Busio really is probably more of a true, not even a true 10, because he's not a final pass guy like who's the guy from Columbus?
No.
Is it Zelarayan? That can't be right.
I'm not sure who you're talking about, actually.
But it's Luca Zelarayan, who's the 10 for Columbus and just dominated MLS Cup playoffs, or Diego Valeri, the guy who can make that final incisive pass. And that's one of the things Benny was so good at. But watching Busio's first couple of seasons, when he was starting to kind of get minutes, he worked great as a late arriving player into the box. Not quite a true second striker, but playing that 10 role where he could get into the box late and have that yard of space so that he could put his foot into a ball. And I'm not sure that we're doing him any favors playing him as a dueling 8 when he probably needs to be in a more advanced position.
And see, I think my opinion on Busio is that he's best, and there's like some fancy Spanish name for it or Italian name, but there's a guy who just floats in spaces. He doesn't play a true exact 8 or 10 or whatever. And I think that's where Busio is best at, is he just slides into a space that nobody's in and then makes his run from there. That's where he's best at. When he has to play a very defined role as the 8 or 10, I don't think he's as good at it. But I do think that he gained a lot of experience last year where he had to play a very defined role as the 6. So maybe that's matured him in that realm a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very interested and to see, how he can really make that work. Because one of the keys to our success moving forward, I think, is that we got to sell Busio. And I'd hate to see it. This is the only sport where you actually want to get rid of players sometimes, good players.
Yeah.
But Brian Reynolds went to Roma for $9 million. $9 million, and MLS will take a third of it or a quarter of it or whatever.
Just got his first start too the other day.
Yep.
Sporting can do a lot of damage with $6 million, whether it's reinvesting in the club, in the academy, or whether or not we help buy another DP on Alan Pulido's level. I mean, that finances the better part of a Pulido.
Yep. Sporting does have to eventually be a selling club, at least for a period of time. And Dallas has sold, $20 million worth of players in the last year? Something like that. And just think if they'd got to sell McKinney too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm curious what the advanced stats are on Dallas falling down, and like what the dollar figure of laying on the ground to salary would be or the transfer figure. But, it's worked. It allows them to reinvest in the club. So my other question for the experts, Graham Zusi's not healthy, so we're going to get some Jaylin Lindsey to start.
Yep.
Once Graham gets cleared to play, how many minutes will Jaylin get to actually see the field?
Jaylin will play the whole season, as has been prophesized again. Relentlessly optimistic. Things are going to go well this year.
I think Jaylin will still get the majority of the minutes because he will have cemented that spot. If he hasn't cemented that spot, they will be looking for another right back in the summer window. As much as we do love Graham, and I do want him to come back as full potential as he possibly can, I want to see him more as the elder statesman floater that comes in when they need an extra body, when they need a fresh body, when they need a guy who can go in on the wing or go in the midfield or go in at the outside back, whatever. That's what I want to see Graham do going forward.
I bet Graham gets the majority of his minutes. Over 50% of his minutes come on the wing.
Since we don't have anybody there after Shallowy and Shelton.
Yes.
And Grayson Barber.
And Grayson Barber.
And Tyler Freeman.
And Ozzy Cisneros.
Guys are selling Tyler Freeman short. That's not cool.
So
no, I think Freeman's made a big gain also.
You're putting all of those people above Zeus, huh?
I mean, in my heart, maybe. But
it doesn't matter what we're putting him. It matters what TV does. Yeah. No, I think Lindsey will pretty much cement that spot, barring injury, barring Graham coming back stronger than he was before. I think he stays there.
That's good. Thad was a little more optimistic there than I thought he was going to be.
I'm always optimistic.
No, you're not.
I am realistically optimistic.
You cannot possibly have convinced yourself that you're optimistic like that.
If he's a true optimist, he will be convinced.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you just blew my mind.
Don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.